Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Toyin Ibitoye TV. My name is Toyin Ibitoye. I want to very quickly share with you a few thoughts about Nigerian football, particularly the renewal of the contract of Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle, the employment of coaches for our youth teams, that's our 8th grade teams, the under 17 and the under 20, and of course, generally talk about the state of Nigerian football. But before I go on, I want to just ask that you please kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel, like and share our videos, and also click the notification bell so that when a new video drops, you can be notified of it. And essentially, that's what we want you to do so that we can grow the number of our subscribers. All right, let me just quickly go into what I want to discuss very briefly and quickly about the state of Nigerian football, starting, of course, with the renewal of the contract of Super Eagles coach Eric Chelle. Of course, we are following the development around FIFA, Congo DR, and Nigeria about the use of ineligible players during the last World Cup playoffs. We already know the results of the petition by the NFF. It was rejected by FIFA, but the NFF is appealing, and we expect that the FIFA Appeals Committee will rule on it. And if Nigeria is still not satisfied, probably the matter will then go on to the Court of Arbitration for Sports. But given the history of FIFA's judicial body, it's always very difficult for the FIFA Appeals Committee to disagree with the ruling of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee. So it's very likely that the FIFA Appeals Committee may uphold that decision of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee, which means Congo will go on to the World Cup. And if Nigeria decides to go to CAS, CAS won't sit until the World Cup is over. So essentially, I don't think that should be something that we should bother ourselves about. But let's see how things go. We never know how it will turn out, but that's just what I think. We can't dissuade the NFF from going on with their appeal if they believe that they have a strong case. But for me, I'm not very optimistic that anything good will come out of that appeal. All right, so I think that settles it about the NFF's petition to FIFA on Congo DR. Let me go now to the issue of Eric Chelle, Super Eagles coach. I personally believe that Coach Eric Chelle has done enough to merit the discussions around the contract renewal based on how well the Eagles played at the last AFCON. Nigeria didn't win the tournament, but the football that Nigeria played won the heart of a lot of people. Sometimes there are no guarantees that you will win a tournament. Sometimes the best team may not win a tournament. So what you want to see is how well they played, their discipline on and off the pitch, because sometimes the element of luck may decide who eventually wins a tournament. So I think on the strength of what we saw at the last AFCON, Coach Eric Chelle has done enough to merit the discussions around a contract renewal. Another reason why I believe we should, renew the contract of Eric Chelle is because in the last couple of years, we've changed our coaches too many times, and that is partly responsible for why we are not going to the World Cup. We had about 3 coaches handling the Super Eagles during the World Cup qualifiers, and of course, the results were not good. And if we had been consistent with the kind of results we had when Eric Chelle came on board, I'm sure the World Cup ticket would have been won a long time ago. So I don't believe that we should change our coaches too many times. If Eric Chelle has shown that he has a capacity to build a team that we'll be proud of, let's stick to him and let him continue the work. And then, of course, there will be 2 Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, based on what CAF told us the last time, there will be 2 Africa Cup of Nations, 2 more between 2026 and 2028. We've had one early this year. We're going to be having another one next year, and we're going to be having another one in 2028. So there are 2 more AFCONs to come. And I believe that if Eric Chelle continues with the kind of work that we saw at the last AFCON, there is a huge possibility, with luck on our side, with good preparation, with everything working together in our favor, that Nigeria can win 1 out of the 2, or even the 2. Anything is possible. So I believe that we should allow Eric Chelle to continue with the hope that if he's able to continue this kind of work, Nigeria will be, favorites to win one of the two AFCONs coming up, or even win the two. It's a possibility. And again, it's clear that Eric Chelle enjoys the love and the support of his employers. That's the Nigeria Football Federation and the National Sports Commission. They look like they are enjoying the work that Eric Chelle is doing. And he also loves the job. The players love him, he loves the players, and he's been able to build a bond. So I believe that that's a fantastic work environment for him to succeed. So let that continue. But it doesn't stop him from still putting in the hard work, still committing himself to Nigerian football, still following up on the league, and still investing his time and his resources in getting new players, younger players, to replace some of the players who are aging in the Super Eagles. Because life is funny. Football also is funny. We've seen heroes in 1 year turn to zeros the very next moment. We've seen a team win a World Cup and then couldn't even qualify for the next one. And we've seen a coach praised in club football for winning a trophy this season, and the next one the results are so poor that he's sacked. So there are no guarantees that because Eric Chelle is doing well now, he will continue to do well. Our hope is that he continues to do well, in the interest of Nigerian football, and that he continues to put in the hard work. So the discussions around the conditions for his work, the amount of money he wants to earn, the assistance that he needs, the conducive environment, I think they are something that the NFF should consider and should, quickly agree on, so that this man can continue his work as we build up to the next AFCON, and of course as we look forward to the next World Cup in 2030. That is if at the end of the day this one slips out, as it looks likely to be. All right, so that's another reason why I believe Eric Chelle should be allowed to continue his work. All right, but apart from Eric Chelle and the renewal of his contract and all of the issues around him, there was an interesting statistic that came out of the last AFCON in Morocco. And that statistic showed that Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest percentage of homegrown talents at the AFCON. In fact, amongst the teams that finished on the podium in Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, it appears that Nigeria has the highest percentage of players who had a level of their development from homegrown talents. Nigeria had the highest number. And it's interesting to see, because I really had to go check out the list of Nigerian players for the last AFCON, and I discovered that indeed we had a good number of players who had their basic football education from here. And how did we get to that? Very strong youth teams. Many of them played at our youth team, either the under 17 or the under 20 or the under 23. And then a very few of them also came from the domestic league, So that accounted for the high number of homegrown talents that turned out for Nigeria at the last AFCON. And what is the message that this is giving? The message that this is giving to the Nigeria Football Federation, and by extension the National Sports Commission, is that we need to get back to investing in our youth football. In the past, it was, as sure as death that Nigeria will do well at the continental competition for 8 grade teams, and then will qualify to represent Africa. And then at the world stage, it was a guarantee that Nigeria will do well, either play up to the semi-finals or play to the finals, or even win the tournament, the under 17 or the under 20. But in the last couple of years, the results have been so poor. We even hardly qualify now for continental competitions. And when we do, we don't qualify for the world competition. And when we get to the world competition, our performances are so poor. So it looks like we are neglecting our youth football structure, our youth football development. So let us drag the net, not just to those who are in Nigeria, but those abroad. You'll be amazed at the number of very intelligent young Nigerian coaches who are abroad, properly certificated, knowledgeable, who can bring a lot of quality to our youth team structure. So the Nigerian Football Federation should drag that net wide and look for competent Nigerians, not just based in Nigeria, but those who are abroad as well. Let them come and help us to build very solid youth teams. I believe that once we get our youth teams rocking again, our under 17, our under 20s winning continentally and globally, we'll be able to once again bring together a good pool of talents that will help Nigerian football to make impact and to be successful, not just in Africa, but at the world level. So that's the challenge that I'm throwing now to the Nigerian Football Federation. Don't just employ anyhow coach. Look for coaches with knowledge, home and abroad. Get the best and let us put a solid structure together so that our under 17, under 20 for both the men and the women can once again begin to win and make us proud. And by the time they begin to win and make us proud, they will be throwing up a lot of talents, that will eventually play up to the highest level. So that's briefly my thoughts around Nigerian football, the renewal of the contract of Coach Eric Chelle, and of course, our youth teams, the employment of coaches, and all of it. Well, as I wrap up, let me once again remind you that please subscribe to this YouTube channel, share and like our videos, and click the notification bell so that when a new video drops, you will be amongst the first set of people to know about it. All right, so that's the wrap on Tony Ibitoye TV. Thank you for watching. See you in another video.